Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, I am sick and tired of hearing the bitching and complaining of non-believers. You see, I've been rereading one of my favorite books called Ikigai and Kaizen. And in there, it talks about people doing meaningless work in exchange for money. It also talks about how gambling is the most useless form of money making you could ever have. And for a lot of people, they gambled with XRP, not knowing the underlying fundamentals and what this truly is, as opposed to investing in it. And that's why they bitch and complain so much. But right now I'm talking to the XRP community that believes in what they own. Ladies and gentlemen, what just happened with the SEC appealing this case has changed nothing. In fact, I'm double down more bullish than I've ever been before, and I'm going to explain to you why. But first, to add general context, I need to show you this video right here. Remember when CEO of Ripple Brad Garlinghouse predicted a $5 trillion market by the end of this year? He actually said it'll probably go higher than I originally thought. He changed his mind and got more bullish. The fuck do you think that means? Regulations are coming and will be great for Ripple and XRP. And then, with the Ripple stablecoin beginning to be printed, with Ripple stablecoin and stablecoin regulation about to go live, Brad Garlinghouse right here reiterates the fact that US regulations will attack Tether. And the real USD stablecoin will take an enormous market share from Tether. And while the normies are distracted by this stupid appeal that changes nothing in regards to our favorite digital asset, the fact remains that this coin is poised for an aggressive bull cycle. And I can't stress that enough. Now don't let anyone dissuade you. Don't let the haters in the comments section distract you. Pay attention to what the people with billions of dollars already and to where the $1 trillion are gonna go are telling you. BlackRock is telling you, XRP is telling you, Brad Garlinghouse is telling you. And ladies and gentlemen, the biggest institutions have already created an XRP ETF. Bitwise has confirmed it. The step has been taken. We are on the doorstep to the promised land, and only the true believers in our community will get it. The haters are like flies. We gotta swat away. Useless noise. They can't even afford our tab. Because what's coming our way is generational.
But you recently predicted that the crypto market will double in size to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. That is a big prediction just by the end of this year.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's that big a prediction when you step back. And, like any market, this is driven by supply and demand. You have decreasing supply for a whole bunch of reasons, the halving Bitcoin being an important one. You have an increasing demand, the ETF being a key part of that. And I think it's also people realizing that crypto plays a role as an asset. It's a $2.5 trillion market. Maybe it's a little less than that now. But so it's basically just predicting it's going to double by the end of the year. And if anything, I think I probably under-predicted that.
I feel like Washington is still trying to understand this market, and the people writing the legislation or potential legislation here to put barriers and around this market. I don't know that they really understand the strength and the growth story here. But you think putting regulation around this, putting barriers in place is going to be a positive for this market?
There is no question. I mean, one of the headwinds that has held back the market, the largest economy in the world, the United States, has been one of the most problematic for the crypto market. Innovation, entrepreneurs, and capital have flown into markets that have actually constructively engaged this market. So Dubai, Singapore, even the UK, the EU has passed legislative progress here. The U.S. has really been behind the eight ball. This administration, I think, has taken a pretty anti-crypto stance, led by the SEC. Gary Gensler, as the chair, has really taken...
Because he doesn't understand it.
I think there's.
Well, maybe he doesn't. The people working for him don't.
It's not clear to me. I mean, clearly, I think you have politicians, and I would frankly call out Elizabeth Warren goes out and says the only people using crypto are, bad actors. It's just not true. And the U.S. should have a pro-innovation, pro-compliance policy. This is good for, in terms of growing jobs, high-paying jobs, growing the economy. And I think you're seeing that, people go out and just, talking points around anti-crypto that it doesn't even make sense. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. This is about growing our economy.
Yeah.
This is about leading the next wave of innovation. I was around Silicon Valley when the internet was booming, massive amount of value creation, massive amount of job creation. The blockchain and crypto space is here to stay, and I think that's become clearer and clearer. But the U.S. government needs to embrace that and put those clear rules around it so that all participants can play and grow.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned all of those countries, because that's also an opportunity for you, obviously, at Ripple. I want to get your take on that, because you recently announced Ripple is launching a U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin later this year. You say this bridges the gap between traditional finance and cryptocurrency. Tell us how that will play out, why it's valuable, and give us the growth story for Ripple. Where does growth come from at your company in the coming 3 years?
So to start on that last piece, Ripple is about over 95% of our customers are non-U.S. financial institutions. We sell payment solutions, we sell custody solutions around blockchain and crypto. We're going to keep expanding, even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt. The non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're
going to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal, and we think that opportunity is huge. We think that's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use. So I'm very, very optimistic about that. I just think that the U.S. needs to figure it out.
And the stablecoin?
Oh, the stablecoin. So Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stablecoin, the demand for stablecoins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over $2-3 trillion in a few years. The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-U.S. based entity. And the U.S., frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally, we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a U.S.-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great story to tell. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you have there are the fundamentals that should be driving your investing principles. The SEC has lost at every turn in this case, and this appeal has no effect on the non-security designation for XRP. And after reading this from Jeremy Hogan, all of you are going to feel a lot better. Jeremy Hogan states that this is a big mistake by the SEC. It will appeal the programmatic sales ruling, and if it wins, it will get more money from Ripple and have protected no one. Ripple will raise its blue sky law issue, and if it wins, the SEC's ability to regulate the entire crypto space is essentially destroyed. And this is not a good calculation of risk by the SEC. It would make a poor stock trader if applied to traditional investing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what's so important. Ripple barely loses anything on this appeal. Worst case scenario, they have to pay a little more money. But if they win, the entire crypto industry is freed from the SEC's wrath. This is an appeal by right, not like when the SEC tried to appeal before, and the trial judge can't reject this appeal. The SEC is very, very likely to lose, both statistically and based on the fact-heavy way the judge wrote her opinion. And ladies and gentlemen, what's so important about this is that exact point. Ripple will always win. The law is on Ripple's side. But the thing is, XRP community members are just tired because the process is the punishment. I get it. I understand it. But if there's one thing I can tell all of you, it's this. XRP will not miss out on this bull cycle. It got relisted on all exchanges. It's having ETFs built around it. We have the Bitwise confirmation in S1 already. Even if the SEC were to, quote, win on appeal, it's very, very likely. It's just a matter of money. Nothing would change as to XRP and its use by Ripple. And in a couple weeks, we'll know what issues the SEC is appealing on. And then it must file its first brief by mid-December. It will not and cannot be appealing that XRP is not a security. And importantly, watch for whether the SEC is appealing the injunction. A ruling from the appellate court won't happen until 2025 to early 2026. And in addition, I refuse to believe that attorney Graywall announcing he's leaving the SEC the same day the appeal is filed is just by chance. And that's right, yet another head director at the SEC quits on Gary Gensler's watch. The only hope of all this being over soon is if there's new leadership at the SEC. And if Trump does become president again, I do believe that there will be a more friendly SEC head under his administration. Now, after reading and listening to different people's takes on this appeal, we have to go to the one thing on people's minds. The punishment is the time spent under the appeal process and the apparent lack of clarity in the market. But ladies and gentlemen, the charts remain transparent. There is no such thing as XRP not going to new highs this cycle. The charts are coiled up and screaming it. And 11 months ago, on the Thinking Crypto YouTube channel, the Bitwise CIO was talking on XRP. And looking back on what just happened, with Bitwise filing for an XRP ETF, it's great to look back to see how far we have come.
There were many XRP holders who wanted me to ask you if Bitwise was going to do anything regarding XRP, given the ruling in the lawsuit against Ripple, given that it has some level of clarity now that intrinsically it's not a security. Anything you could share there?
Yeah, it is a holding now of the Bitwise 10. So it is the third largest holding at a 3.2% weight. You know, we removed it from the index the day the lawsuit came from the SEC because it injected a fair amount of risk into the market. But the lawsuit went through and there was a ruling. And as you mentioned, the ruling found that it was not a security in most aspects. And so it is back in the index where it belongs, just like it's there, you know, with your pillows. So we're ready. We're right there with you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've had enough of the FUD. When you see how laid out all these plans are, Bitwise was thinking about XRP long ago. Now, boom, ETF on the horizon. Guarantee you, in 2025, there will likely be an XRP ETF from BlackRock. We have XRP being called a non-security. We have SWIFT announcing at the top of their lungs that live trials of digital asset transactions on SWIFT will start in 2025, which is the digitalization of the financial system. We have from the Black Swan capitalist that Ripple is set to launch tokenized gold and silver on the XRP ledger in Q3 2024 through a partnership with Meld Gold. Ladies and gentlemen, the transportability of precious metals is right here on XRP. Tokenized gold through stablecoins on the XRP ledger in alignment with the BIS Basel III approach and the World Gold Council is here. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Every single step here we've talked about since 2018. And to cap off this video for today, Ripple continues to dominate in high-powered financial jurisdictions as Ripple received in-principle approval from the Dubai Financial Service Authority. Under every single financial rock you look under, Ripple and XRP adoption is imminent. Guys, I want you to leave this video for today with the confidence that no fucking appeal by any rogue jurisdiction and any dickhead and Gary Gensler can stop our generational wealth. And this case was made for one reason and one reason alone: to dissuade you from getting involved in XRP and becoming the new 1%, a conscious 1%, a 1% that will make a good impact in the world. Not the evil one we've seen for years. We're taking our power back. And it starts by not getting dissuaded right now. Now guys, remember to protect your digital assets from any and all cyber attacks, hacks, exchange bankruptcies with your Decent wallet. This is my favorite hardware wallet currently in the crypto market right now that has the best optionality for the amount of cryptos you can hold. And I also love their security. You could get your very own discount code in the description below. And as always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Hodl strong. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.